Dad threw me out as a teen for a lie by my stepmom's lies. Now he wants my house for my sister, but what I revealed left them speechless. I'm 31, male, working as a real estate developer now. But this whole thing started back when I was 15. My real mom died from cancer when I was 4. When I turned 7, Dad 42, male at the time married this woman. I'll call her Beth, 35, female, because that's her real name. Lol. She seemed nice at first, did that whole trying too hard stepmom thing, you know. But everything changed after she had my half-sister, Jen. When I was a kid, Dad was always super harsh with me, like way over the top strict. Nothing I ever did was enough for him. I still remember getting a B+ on this really hard chemistry test, and instead of being happy, he just looked at me and went, "Why isn't this an A? Made the basketball team?" He'd be like, "Why aren't you starting?" That kind of stuff all the time. But with Jenny, totally different story. She could literally fail a test, and they'd be like, "Oh, honey, it's okay. You tried your best." Beth made sure Jenny was treated like some kind of princess, while I was just there, the guy who kept messing everything up. Looking back now, I'm pretty sure I had ADHD or something that never got diagnosed. Like I couldn't sit still in class, had trouble focusing, that kind of stuff. But instead of trying to figure out what was wrong, Dad would just scream at me. His favorite thing to say was, "Why can't you just be normal like your sister?" While Beth stood there nodding along like I was some kind of problem that needed fixing. Dad worked these crazy long hours at his construction company, so he wasn't home much. That's when Beth would really show who she was. She'd forget to make enough food for dinner, so I'd have to make myself a sandwich. Or she'd wash my clothes wrong on purpose, so they'd shrink or get ruined. Little stuff that I couldn't really prove, you get what I mean. If I tried telling Dad, he'd just say I was making trouble again because that's what Beth had him believing. The worst part was all the mind games she played. She'd move my stuff around, then tell Dad I was being messy, or something would get broken, and somehow it was always my fault. Dad believed every word because why would Beth lie about that? She had him completely wrapped around her finger. Then came that day that changed everything. I was walking home from school, taking my usual shortcut through Wilson Park. That's when I saw Beth with this guy by the old gazebo. At first, I thought maybe it was just some friend or whatever, but then I saw them kissing, and not just a quick kiss either. If you know what I mean. I think Beth saw me running away, but I wasn't sure. I recognized the guy, too. Mark, I think his name was. He used to come to our house sometimes for these charity meetings Beth was supposedly running. Real buff dude, always wearing fancy suits, looked like he lived at the gym. I had no clue what to do. Tell Dad? Yeah, right. Like he'd believe me. Beth had spent years making sure Dad thought I was just some troublemaker. Plus, Jenny was 8 at the time, and Dad was obsessed with her. He'd probably think I was just jealous or trying to cause problems. So I kept my mouth shut, tried to forget what I saw. But then I started noticing stuff I couldn't unsee, like how Jenny's hair was this weird reddish-brown color that nobody else in the family had. Dad never noticed because he was always distracted. One night, I got up to get some water and overheard Beth on the phone. I was about to walk into the kitchen, but the second I heard her tone, I stopped. She was whispering, but I caught enough to make my stomach drop. "You don't understand, Mark." He's starting to notice. I had no idea who she was talking about at first, but then she said it, "He thinks she's his, but we both know the truth." I felt like the air got sucked out of the room. I knew exactly who she meant, Jenny. My dad wasn't her father. Mark was. I must have made some noise because Beth suddenly went quiet, then she called out, all fake sweetness, "Honey, you shouldn't be up this late." I bolted back to my room before she could see me. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I'd be sick. I didn't have proof, but I knew now. I knew the truth. And I knew Beth would do anything to keep me from telling Dad. Beth must have figured out I knew something, though. She started watching me like crazy, especially around Jenny. I couldn't even walk past Jenny's room without Beth appearing out of nowhere, asking what I was doing. She started telling Dad I was acting weird around Jenny. Now I get it. She was building up to something, making Dad suspicious of me. I remember this one time I was just helping Jenny with her multiplication tables basic math stuff, you know. Beth came in and practically yanked Jenny away, saying she'd help instead. Then told Dad I was getting too close to Jenny. The way she said it, man, I can still hear her voice. It makes me feel sick thinking about it. That's how things went for like 2 weeks. Beth watching every single thing I did, whispering stuff to Dad when she thought I couldn't hear. Dad started giving me these weird looks at dinner. I tried staying out of the house as much as I could, but that just made everything worse. Beth told Dad I was probably doing drugs or something. Plus, nobody even asked if I was okay. Nobody cared that my grades were tanking because I was so stressed out. Dad just got mad and yelled at me. About 2 weeks after I saw Beth with Mark in the park, I came home from school like normal that day. Something felt weird, right? When I walked in, there were 2 police cars parked outside our house, and I could hear Beth crying before I even opened the door. Like that super fake crying people do when they're trying to get attention.